ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So, welcome you all to the 13th lecture on the Indic knowledge landscape and overview. We have been discussing about Vidya Sthanas in the Indian knowledge tradition. We initially discussed in brief about the Paravidyas, which are 32 in number, along with one Nyasa Vidya, which is purely experiential knowledge through surrender to the ultimate. Then we discussed about Aparavidyas, which are 14 in number. They are also called pure, they are also known as pure sciences. In the Aparavidyas, we discussed about the 4 Vedas and then Yajnas as an important concept and its scientific aspect, and then Vedas as containers of knowledge, and then different aspects in Vedas like Nama, Rupa and Kritya. We also discussed about Panchikarana process in the Srishti Prakarana. Then we came to the Vedangas, which help us in knowing more about the Vedic mantras. Among the Vedangas, Shiksha, which is both phonetics and phonology, that is science of Ucharana Shastra and also Swara Vijnana, I can say. And then Vyakaranam is grammar of Sanskritam. We discussed about Chandas, which is prosody, and also some mathematical aspects in Chandas. And then we discussed about Niruktam also. Niruktam is etymology of the very difficult words which are discussed in Niruktam. Today, we are going to the next topic in Vedangas, that is Kalpa. If Chandas is the Pada of Veda, Kalpa is the Hasta. Hastau Kalpaha. So, what is Kalpa? Dharmasya Yashasaha Kalpaha. So, to properly understand the word Kalpa, it will be like sacred precept, or it is competent, fit, proper. And what is the root for Kalpa? It is Krip. Krip is the root, and Ach Pratyaya will come, then Ghai and other Pratyayas are added. And then the major texts of Kalpa are called KALPASUTRAS. It's a huge area, and there is many of the texts are lost. Though there were hundreds of texts, many of the texts were lost due to foreign invasion or people taking away our texts. We don't know. Anyhow, though much of the text is lost, we still have been able to preserve some of the Kalpa texts. Among them, Apastamba Kalpa Sutra ancillary to the Yajurveda is considered to be the best preserved till date. And we have Kalpasutras in Jainism also. And then, what are Kalpasutras? They are divided into 4 parts actually. Shrauta Sutras, Grihya Sutras, Shulba Sutras, and Dharma Sutras. Shrauta Sutras deal with the rituals which are done for the universal benefit, you can say. Then Grihya Sutras are domestic rituals which are performed in a householder's place. Shulba Sutras help in building the Yajna, Yaga Kunda, then Yajna Mandapa and all those things. And Dharma Sutras help discuss about the Varnashrama dharmas dealing with ethical and other aspects. Then, if we look at the origin of these Kalpasutras, they are all taken from the Vedas only. If we look at Ashvalayana Sutras and Sankhyayana Sutras, they are taken from the Rig Veda and they contain nothing but the discussions that happen in the Brahmana texts of the Vedas. Why again another text means Brahmanas are again huge. The text is too elaborate and to guide people and to make people understand better these sutras, these Kalpasutras were created, you can say. Then among the Rigveda texts, the Kalpa texts are Ashvalayana and Sankhyayana. Among the Samaveda Kalpa texts, we have Jaiminiya Sutrani, then Drahyayana Sutrani. Then Atharva Veda has the Kalpa texts like Vaitana, Shrauta Sutrani, and then Kaushika Grihya Sutras. Then Krishna Yajurveda has more number of Kalpa texts like Apastamba, Bodhayana, Vaikhanasa, Bharadvaja, Vadhula. And Shukla Yajurveda has Katyayana Sutras. And this is Bodhayana or Bodhayana also is another name, you can say. Then this is a list where you can find so many Grihya Sutra texts belonging to different branches. Bashkala, Shakha, Kaushitaki, all these Vaikhanasa, Kathaka, so many variety of texts are there. But maybe some of them are lost and some of them are distorted, you can say. People have distorted and they write all sorts of different things about the sutras and explanations. Then we have in our discussions during about the Vedas, we have seen that Vedahi Yajnartham Abhipravrittaha. So Vedas are there for the performance of yajnas. Nirdishtakala prabhavascha yajnaha. So the yajnas have specific time period. Rishayaha dirgha satratvat dirgham ayuhu avapnuvan. So the rishis who did these yajnas lived for a very long period. And we have five Mahayajnas like Deva Yajna, Pitru Yajna, then Bhuta Yajna, Manushya Yajna, then Brahma Yajnas. All these topics have been discussed in our previous lectures, and you can go through once again all those discussions and uh, understand how Kalpasutras are beautifully related to the Vedas. Then Kalpasutras. What is the role of Kalpasutras? They are mainly related to the Karma Kanda aspect of the Vedas. While Upanishads talk about Jnana Kanda or the knowledge part, Kalpasutras are having more focus and clear explanation regarding the ceremonies or the rituals that need to be performed. And then they help the individuals integrate within customs and cultural practices from the moment when one is conceived in mother's womb to the hour of one's death, and also beyond during the cremation part and subsequent processes till the 13th day or so. So, if we look at the yajnas, there are Agnishtoma yajnas, Aptoryama, Atiratra, Chaturmasya, Niruddha Pashubandha, Sautramani, Vajapeya, so many yajnas. And these are present at present times. These are quite in practice, you can see. Though many of the yajnas have gone away from our lives, these are still in practice. Then this Ahitagni, who is an Ahitagni? He is a person who has to maintain the fires and utensils used for performing those yajnas throughout his life. This is like Nityagni-hotris who do yajna twice a day without a break. They have tremendous restrictions. They cannot go anywhere. They need to follow all the rigid rules which are applicable to such homas. And there are yajna. If we come across this yajna, yaga, homa, and all those things, if you look at Amarakosha, so Amarakosha says yajna, yaga, sava, advara, kratu, ishti, stoma, vitana, satra, hava, all are synonyms. So yajnas have been classified in various ways actually. So it will be like there is an Yajamana who is the host, and there are priests, and then we have this how to do the japa yajna, how to do the karma yajna, manasa yajna, and all these discussions, swadhyaya yajna, all these we have discussed in our previous lectures. And then the yajnas have been classified like paka yajnas, then havir yajnas, and then Soma Yajnas. So these Baudhayana Grihya Sutras, they talk about these groupings, and the rituals or the rules in the process of establishing the sacrificial fire. Then the rules for kindling the sacrificial fire, the duties of the Yajamana after the establishment of fire, how to take care of that fire, and all those discussions are there in the Baudhayana Sutras. Then Kalpasutras talk about the Yajna Vedi. Vedi means it's a place where the Yajna is performed. So the Yajna Vedi may be in the shape of eagle. It may be in the shape of hawk. It may be in the shape of crow. And there are many different shapes and dimensions also discussed in the Kalpasutras. The bricks used also may be of various shapes. The bricks may be triangular, square, oblong, like that. So this dimension, the height of the unit used to determine the various measurements, Agni Chayana, everything is discussed in these Kalpasutras. And there are Yajna Ayudhas. What are Yajna Ayudhas? They are the instruments or implements used in Vedic sacrifices. So if you look at a few examples, like Ashvalayana Grihya Sutram, Vaitanikebyah Anantaram Grihyani Vakshyamaha. So we are going to talk about Grihya Sutras. Grihyani ityukte Grihyaha nama Agnihi. So they are saying Grihya, something related to a householder. But what is this Grihya? It is Griha Shabdaha Bharyayam Shalayam cha Vartate. So this Griha is applicable to Bharya, wife, and Shala, maybe Yagashala. Then Vivahadini Karmani Yasmin Bhavanti Sa Grihya Uchyate. So where the marriage and related activities are performed, that is Grihya. Then Pani, he gives an example also there. Pani Grahanadi Grihyam. And then he also states that Prag Vivahat Yani Karmani Tani Etasmin Agnau Na Prapnuvanti. So he says Vivahat Purvam, before the marriage, whatever rituals are performed, they are not, they don't come under Grihya karma. So they are all, for example, Jata karma, Chaula karma, and other rituals. See what happens when a child is born. There is some ritual followed, and when tonsuring is done, that time there is a different ritual followed. Like that, at different stages of a human being, there are many rituals being performed, but none of them come under this Grihyam. Only Panigrahanadi Grihyam. Panigrahanam. Then these Baudhayana Dharma Sutra. So here he says, Adbhishuddhyanti Gatrani Buddhihi Jnanena Shuddhyati. Ahimsaya cha bhutatma manaha satyena shuddhyati. So adbhihi, is water. Water, the body gets cleaned with water. Buddhi jnanena shuddhyati. So, jnana helps the buddhi to get purified. Ahimsaya cha bhutatma. So, if one practices ahimsa, then his atma gets purified. Manaha satyena shuddhyati. So one becomes pure with truth. By speaking truth, by always speaking truth, helps a person to purify his mind. So manaha, manashuddhihi, antah shaucham. So manashuddhi, that inner cleanliness comes with manashuddhi. Then he talks about Ashtachatvarimshad Varshani. So, Veda Brahmacharyam, how many years one should go through the process of learning. So, it should be actually Ashtachatvarimshad. It is 28 years. But it is not possible. So, Chaturvimshatim va Dvadasha va Prativedam. So, it should be at least 24 years or 12 years for each Veda. Then, Samvatsaravamam va Pratikandam. For each Kanda, it should be at least 1 year. Then, Grahanantam va. If nothing is possible, till he is able to grasp something. This is because Jivitasya asthiratvad. So there is no guarantee about this life. So Jivitasya asthiratvad. One should, it means actually one should aim to learn the Vedas or whatever subject he wants to learn, whatever he wants to practice, that should be done with total dedication. Then Krishna Keshognenada Dhiteti Shrutihi. So till, yes. So Krishna Keshognenada. So he says, till the hair is black, one should learn. Then, if we look at the Bodhayana Dharma Sutra, there are different cleaning agents mentioned, like Tamra, Rajata, Suvarnanam, Amlaihi. So, copper, silver, such objects can be cleaned using astringent products like tamarind. Then he says, Daravanam Takshanam. Daru is wood. Objects of wood can be cleaned by chiseling. Vainavanam Gomayena. Objects of bamboo are cleaned with cow dung. Then Shaumanam Gaura Sarshapa Kalkena. Silk clothes are cleaned by applying yellow mustard. This we have to, I don't know how it is done. So we should be careful before practically doing it. Then Shaumavat Shankha Shringa Shukti Dantana. So same way, Shauma is silk clothes. So same way, how silk clothes are cleaned by applying yellow mustard. Same way, conch, then horns, animal horns, then shells, elephant tusk, they are also cleaned in the same way by applying yellow mustard. Then this Apastamba Sutram, it talks about Ayushmati Ishti Prayogaha. So a person desirous of long life, he needs to perform this yajna. He says, the performer has to wear a special kind of earring at the end of the ceremony. So this is known as Kundaleshtihi. Here he talks about Ukthyadi Samstha Prayogaha. There are 4 samsthas. They are Ukthya, Shodashi, Atiratra and Aptoryama. So they are all associated with the Jyotishtoma Yajnas. They deal with the related topics like Somena Yakshye, Jyotishtomena Ukthyena Brihat Samna Dvadasha Shata Dakshinena Pashuman Bhuyasam iti Sankalpaha. So Somena Yakshye means with Soma Lata, you practice you perform the yajna. Then Jyotishtomena, with Jyotishtoma yajna, Ukthyena. These are all the sub yajnas, you can say. Pashuman Bhuyasam. So you have to make a sankalpa. You have to think that you become rich Pashuman. So then one more ishti is there. That is Utsargeshti Vidhi. It is to be performed by the Ahitagni. We know who Ahitagni is. A person who maintains that fire throughout his life. He is Ahitagni. And he decides to renounce the world for sannyasa ashrama. Before leaving this practice and renouncing, at that time he has to perform Utsarga Ishti Vidhi. Then about this Ukthyadi Samstha Prayogaha, I came across this Paniniya Sutra here. Kratukthadi Sutrantat Thak. So this sutra is saying that Agnishtomakaha, Vajapeyikaha, then Uktadipyaha Adhite Athava Janati. He will be Aukthikaha, like that. Then if somebody is learning Kalpasutras, Kalpasutram Adhite, he becomes Kalpasutraha, like that. So this is an interesting sutra from Panini Maharshi. So you can go through this also when you get time. Then here in this about this Apastamba Sutra, Jabala Shruti, Jabala Rishi also has said something. Prajapatyam eva ishtim kuryat iti athava Vaishvanareshtim kuryat. So there are some mantras which are associated with these yajnas, which are discussed in Vedas, and they are again discussed in these Apastamba Sutras. Then Unnetritva Prayoga. This work deals with the duties of the Unnetra. This Unnetra is a priest who belongs to the Adhvaryu group. Actually, this Adhvaryu, the person who is involved in the yajna, he will be assisted by some other priests. They are, one of them is this Unnetra. So this Unnetritva Prayoga deals with the duties of the Unnetri priest, the person who is the assistant of this Adhvaryu in the Agnishtoma sacrifice. Then Upadhanojvali is another discussion there. There are Shulbopadhana and then Mantropadhana. They talk about the bricks used in the yajna, and here Devau Sanandanau Natva Sarvakratu Vipaschita Ishtakanam Dvishahasryam Mantropahiti Ruchyate. So, by praying to Sanandana, Sanaka Sanandana, then Sarvakratu Vipaschita. So, Ishtika is that brick. So, they are talking about the discussion goes on further about how the shape, size, and how many bricks to be used for which yajna. All those discussions will be there. Then Udgatra Prayogaha, duties of the Udgatra. We have seen how these Adhvaryu, Udgatra, they have been helping yajnas. So duties of the Udgatra priest belonging to the Samaveda yajnas of the Agnishtoma yaga is discussed in Udgatra Prayogaha. Then if we look at this Apastamba Gruhya Sutras, Yavajjivam Agnihotram Juhoti Vasante Jyotishtomena Yajeta. So here what happens? Udak Ayana Purva Pakshaha Punyaheshu Karyani. So we all know that there are two ayanas, Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. So Udak Ayana is Uttarayana. During that period, during the period of Uttarayana, what happens? Punyaha. So auspicious. That is quite an auspicious period. So that time there are some yajnas to be performed. This punyaha is again divided into 9 parts. All those discussions are there when you look at these Apastamba Gruhya Sutras. Then they talk about Pradakshinam. We do parikrama in temples, no? So what is that Pradakshinam? Dakshinam Panim Pratigatam. So, movement starting from the left hand side. It's a clockwise movement. That is what is Pradakshinam. And then we have this Vadhula Krishna Yajurvedaha, Vadhula Shrauta Sutram. So this some of the topics dealt in this branch are like Agni Upasthanam, where to place the Agni, Agneya Ishtihi, Aindragneya Ishtihi. Then Dvadashaha Vratam, 12 days, that Vrata to be followed for 12 days. Then Pitrayagnaha. Then Vedikaranam, how to build a Vedi. Then if we look at this Katyayana Shulba Sutram, here we come to the mathematical aspects. So, Rajju Samasam Vakshyamaha. He says, Same Shankum Nikhaya, fix the stick on a level ground. What is that stick? It's like stick with a pointed tip, you can say. Same Shankum Nikhaya, Shanku Sammitaya, Rajva Mandalam Parilikhya. So, this what happens is draw a circle with a string measured by the stick. Then, Yatra Lekhayoho Shankvagragachaya Nipatati Tatra Shanku Nihanti Sa Prachi. So, fix nails at points on the line of the circumference. That is what he's saying. Of the circumference of the circle, where the shadow of the tip of the stick falls. And he says the line joining the two points forms the east-west line. Same way, the north-south line is also drawn, and this kind of technique is used in most of India's temple architecture. Then this is in whether if you look at today's mathematics, it is Gnomon circle method, something like that it is called. And I have given here one link. This link has very beautifully explained this technique. You all can go through that. And if you look at the Yajna Ayudhas, what are the things, implements used in Vedic sacrifices? It is Agnihotra Havani. It is a big ladle made of Vikankata wood used for pouring the oblation of milk into the Garhapatya fire. Then Ajyasthali. It is a vessel of bronze used for keeping ajya or ghee. Then Anvaharya Sthali. It is a big metallic vessel used to cook food for 4 persons who are performing the yajna. They are the main priests, you can say. It will be served to only those 4 people. Then Aranis. Here I have displayed this picture. This is called Arani. What happens is they start like we churn curd, to get butter. Like that they churn using this rope. And here this also is mentioned in Vedas. Actually, I asked my father to send me that mantra. He forgot maybe, and I was in a hurry and didn't ask again. And there is a time limit also. Within 2 minutes or so, it needs to that fire needs to be produced. So these aranis are 2 pieces of wood used to produce fire by attrition. So that is with friction. It is that fire is produced. The top piece is called Uttararani. It is shaped like a round vessel. The bottom piece has a pit into which the strained juice falls. Actually, it is mostly used in Somayagas, where they use the Somalata. But this Arani is to produce fire. That is also there. Once the fire is produced, that fire is added to that Homakunda. Then Dohana. Dohana is milking, you say, no? Go Dohanam. There, the vessel used for containing the milk during milking. That is also called Dohana. Then Drushad and Upala. They are the lower and the upper grinding stones used to pound the grains for preparing the Purodasha or whatever that offering you are making for the Agni Deva. Then Chamasaha. Chamasas are deep wooden bowls. They are used for keeping the soma rasa. Then Dashapavitra and Drona Kalasha. This Dashapavitra is a small piece of cloth used to strain the soma juice, you can say. Drona Kalasha is that patram, that whatever vessel. Then Juhu and Upabhrit, they are wooden spoons similar to the Agnihotra Havani, but smaller in size. Then Kapalas, they are small square shaped troughs made of burnt clay, and say, used to cook the Purodasha. Then Krishnajina, it's a deer skin. It is placed, the upala is placed on it before pounding the grains. Then Madanti, it's a vessel used to keep water and heat it for preparing the Purodasha cakes. Then Musala, it is the pounding pestle made of Khadira wood. Then Yotra is a straw rope made of the munja grass used as a belt. So thus we have these different shapes of the yajna kunda for different yajnas. Then if we look at Chandas, Pingala Sutras, there we have relation with mathematics is binary number system, then Pascal's triangle, concept of zero, then permutation and combination, and Paniniya Ashtadhyayi, formal mathematical system, nested rules which we discussed, then how we can jump from, that is Manduka Pluti is also there, and like this Vishnu Sharma's Panchatantra. Like that, sutra goes to another sutra, it leads to another sutra, like that, nested rules are there. Then potential applications in present-day computer programming languages are all there in Paniniya Ashtadhyayi. If we look at the Shulba Sutras, we have these Pythagoras theorem concepts in our KALPASUTRAS. So there are so many mathematical, scientific, and ritual aspects when we look at our Vedas and the subsidiary, these Vedangas. So any questions regarding this?
Mohoday, what is the time period of all this when this was
time period? Time period, they say a different time period. But if we look at the, actually this Baudhayana is the oldest sutras, if we come across. They must be, they say around 800 BC. But they must be before that, because if we look at Panini's sutras, Panini's sutras are mentioning about these. So it must be even before Panini. That is what I understand with this.
Okay. Dhanyavad.
Yeah. This mathematical exponential, binary, Pascal's triangle, zero permutation, all these are part of the Ashtadhyayi or Vedangas?
It is, see, if you look at Chandas, Pingala Sutras, these binary system, Pascal's triangle, zero, permutation, combination, they all belong to this Chandas Sutra. Chandas is a Vedanga, right?
Right.
Then, Paniniya Ashtadhyayi. If you take Paniniya Ashtadhyayi, they have some these nested rules and this computer applications are there. No, they are still discovering actually Paniniya Ashtadhyayi. Then, if you look at the Shulba Sutras, then they have these concepts of Pythagoras theorem, and then as I mentioned, geometrical concepts like that drawing circle or whatever, Shanku, using Shanku and that Sutra.
Yeah, that was for maybe construction activity, Shanku.
Yes.
No, so Paniniya Ashtadhyayi, like, where did you get this derivation of 3 points, formal mathematical system? I mean, you highlighted these 3 points, nested rules and
Yes.
potential application of software. So these you got from Paniniya Ashtadhyayi per se or somewhere else?
Actually, in Ashtadhyayi, if you look at the sutras of Ashtadhyayi, you come across these nested rules, right? And then this.
Sorry, I missed your last transmission. The signal was not good. Kindly say. If you look at
the Paniniya Ashtadhyayi sutras,
right.
you find that there are these nested rules. Like I explained during the Vyakarana session, we have discussed.
I understand. Nested rules is very important in today's software also.
Yes. So that is what is mentioned here. Potential applications in present day computer programming. So
actually, what I'm asking, if these things are already laid down in Panini Ashtadhyayi, which is the heading of the 3 topics, that's a hell of a lot of information in our ancient knowledge systems.
Yes.
Yeah. So these current scientists and mathematicians are probably trying to exploit this information, and they may be working on this. Am I right?
Yes.
So,
Many people are working on this.
and this Pythagoras theorem, actually, this whole this slide translates into a book that I had when my son was in class 12th. So it's called Vedic Mathematics. So that book I had, which I gave him to study, and that had all these Vedic mathematics is very detailed.
Yes.
And I suppose that book, now I don't remember, it's a long time story. So that book will have all these information of the Vedas related to mathematics, I suppose.
Yes.
It must be
Actually, when
consolidated. Am I right?
Yes, when I did MA, no, at that time I had a friend who was 80 years old. I have told you. She was a genius in mathematics. She used to pester us. Actually, she on her own she learned these Vedic mathematics by looking at because she is a mathematician. She was able to grasp very fast. She kept on pestering us to learn, all of us friends, that even very complicated numbers she would do very fast, like multiplication, division, everything. She would say, please, why don't you learn it? There is so much in this. But we were all the time worried about our exam and we missed that opportunity.
So that is the corruption of the education system that has taken place. And since I mentioned to you Vedic system, Vedic mathematics, I'm sorry. Why I totally support what you're saying and second that, because I remember when I went through the points, you don't have to cram that mathematics. It's logical. So human mind accepts logic, not cramming like we do in our educational system. That's why Vedic mathematics is that simple, as you mentioned, that expert was in a matter of minutes or seconds used to calculate. So that I think should be propounded in some manner. The Vedic mathematics. Maybe if I can lay my hands on that book, I'll share the name with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I have some 2-3 questions on the earlier part that you taught, if you permit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that that's more of jokingly, I don't know, I should say, because a couple of slides back you said that the Vedas or Kalpas say that you should learn only till your hair are black. So how do I reconcile with my gray hair?
No. Those days, it was applicable to, we can say, it was applicable to people of that generation, because nowadays it is not possible. We start learning about Sanskritam at a very late age. So,
Oh, yeah. Correct.
so
Yeah,
it's okay. We can discount on
you can
that.
discount all that. Secondly, the cleaning methods that have been given excellently were probably very relevant and required because people didn't have the knowledge how to clean, let's say, utensils of brass or the wood or XYZ. Now, with certainly we should go back probably. That's more of a
Yes,
natural way of living,
yes,
provided those things are available now to clean.
yeah.
But who has got time to do that? So there are chemicals
Yes,
which are
there are
available
many,
easily to.
yes,
Hmm.
there are many things discussed there, but I selected only easier ones so that everybody can relate to
No, I appreciate you've done a
them.
marvelous job to acquaint us with all this. But I was wondering in the modern time how is it applicable or relevant? Some things, but it's good
Yeah,
to know from knowledge
yeah.
point. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that we
Yeah.
were that advanced, we already had this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Dhanyavad,
so,
ma'am.
Samapayamaha. And next class, we will be doing Jyotisham. After that, I want each one of you to take one subject, like all the Vedangas, and uh, uh, present like the way you did for Vedas.
I beg your pardon, just say the last sentence. The signal is not good.
See, next class will be Jyotisham. With that, we conclude the Vedanga part.
Right.
So the class next to that, that is 2 weeks from here onwards. So each one of you will take one subject of the Vedangas and present it.
Okay, like we did earlier, you asked us.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm?
One personal request, I bothered Chatra last time because I was not able to log in and download the slides, which I had put in a request in the group also. And Chatra was kind enough to send me the 11 and 12 lessons. But still, I am not even today. Before I thought I'll share with you. So today also I tried to log in, which was possible earlier. I did download earlier,
Okay.
but of late I'm not able to do. So can you kindly help? I wrote in the group
Yes,
also.
I'll talk to Narayanan Mahoday. I don't
Narayanan
know
Mahathir.
I don't know
Yeah,
what is happening. I'll talk
thanks,
to him.
Chatra. She was able to help me. But then I need all because I found, in fact, to be honest with you, since I never downloaded this 11 and 12 lessons, when I downloaded and read through, it was so clear, crystal clear. Because it's very sequential and logically you put across the slides. So I wish to download all, in fact, and try to mull over it in my own time to understand from 1 to 12 or 13 now.
Okay.
So kindly allow me or permit me to do that.
Yeah, please do use the slides. It's not a problem. But only request is actually my husband was saying as we are spending so much of time preparing slides, it's better to give PDF only. Anyhow, I thought it's okay. Our students only. So I thought it's okay. Let them have the PPTs. And
So
if you
PDF is
are
also fine. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you can make PDF also of the PowerPoint and
okay,
load those. We'll download
okay,
the same. I mean, it's for reading purpose. We are not going to change
okay,
it.
okay.
So either way, I mean, it's just
Okay.
gaining knowledge in in laptop is that much easier to read in your own spare
Okay.
time.
Anyhow, if you are using it elsewhere or if you are sharing it elsewhere, please you share it as a PDF because huge effort
No, we are not sharing.
goes in preparing these slides.
I can well imagine. Firstly, the content and slide preparation itself is very time-consuming
Yeah.
process. I appreciate.
Okay. Astu.
Mahoday, I have a question.
Huh?
Just out of curiosity, these the Vatus, I mean not Vatus, but the students who are learning in Gurukulas, okay, the mantras and all. So do they learn all this, the Yagnavedi and you
Yes,
know how
everything. Yes.
they learn, the construct
Yeah,
the Yagna Kunda, they learn all that.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Everything is taught in. If a child goes to a Gurukula, he comes out with all the entire text in his mind. Actually, everything is stored in his brain. You can say.
Chatra, I can give you personal this thing experience of this if you like. In the month of December last year, I'm from North India, as you know. So one of my colleagues, who's an Air Force officer, who's Murthy. So he guided me to, because he said you go into Dan, sorry, Gaudan. So he knew somebody in a place called near Coimbatore called sorry, I'm getting old now. So there's a place about 30, 40 kilometers. Let me recollect. So there's a place, there was a Gurukul there. Excellent. And then we went there. I mean, I spent me and my wife spent couple of hours. And not only we did Gurudan with Gaudan with those young boys, like you mentioned, chanting mantras, appropriate mantras, and we doing Gaudan and cloth on that and flowers and whatever they guided us, mantras, they were reading mantras. But also later they took me to classes because I'm an Air Force officer. So they said probably he's going to publicize all this. So I met the board of trustees of the school, and so they took me to various classes, and that answers your question now, precise question. So they are going through and reciting, like ma'am says, uh, all these Vedas. Like one class is doing that only on Rig Veda, for example. Another doing on XYZ Veda, all the four Vedas, one by. So their job is, they said, I interviewed the board of trustees. Interview means basically to gain knowledge. I asked them questions and I have videos of them. If you want, I can share. They're explaining what do they do. So the kids there get into this school at the age of Gurukul at the age of 7, and they read till 16. And it's a Ved Pathshala. They just read Vedas and the rituals what you mentioned. Just to answer you. So it is done in a very precise and detailed manner, like ma'am is teaching us.
Yeah, no, because Mahoday, I've also heard that so once they pass out from this the first level, the basic level, they also go in for a specialization. Like I know a couple of boys, then they went on to do Jyotishya, they went to Kerala, they studied there, so that's why I am asking this question, do they learn everything at one go when they're in Veda Pathshala, or they always, specialize later on if they are interested?
See, initially it will be learning the Vedas. Then they will be taught these Vedangas and all those things. Then once they come to a certain age, then these Shastra specialization happens.
Okay.
Like to understand Tarka or Vyakarana, one needs to come to a certain age. At a very young age, they cannot understand because it is full of so many logic and reasoning is required. So they have to use their best abilities to understand them. So they will be taught at a later age all these shastras.
So this name of the place I remembered, Chatra, is Palakkad.
Palakkad, okay.
Palakkad.
No, there is one in Sringeri also, the Pathshala. So,
Yes.
so I was just, I know some people there who went on to do specialization. They went to Kerala actually, to do specialization in Jyotishya. So that's why, this question, cropped up.
Yes, yes. Nowadays, in universities also, these Shastras are taught at MA level. BA and MA level, it is taught. But
No, but I'd like to add one more thing on asking that question, ma'am. What is their employability? After all, the world has changed now. So what they told me, the board of trustees, that we make them appear in the normal exams also, CBSE and others. And we, beside teaching, like to answer what Chatra is saying, they not only read the Vedas over those X number of years, but they also study other subjects, and they have a linkage with the other universities
Yes.
to get them qualified up to
Uh-huh.
12th standard.
Yes.
So they don't lose out in the market value.
Yes.
Besides gaining knowledge of the Shastras.
Earlier, what used to happen was they would know they will be experts in these Shastras, but they will not have any knowledge of the modern science or maths like that. And they would
Science.
suffer because of
Yes.
their communication skills.
Yes.
They cannot speak English. They used to find it very difficult once they pass out from the Gurukula. Nowadays, most of the Gurukulas have this system. Like parallelly, they will be attending some CBSE or state syllabus classes
Yeah.
and learning English and other subjects. And they will privately appear for 10th and 12th exams. So what happens nowadays, not only in Gurukulas, some people whom I know, they are also opting for this private schooling because they don't want their children to lose out um, uh, on Sanskritam. So what they do is these kids they will go to some teacher, learn the Shastras during the daytime, and evenings they will study this whatever is required for English education, sitting at home. That way they are getting the benefit of both the worlds. So what happens? We all made the mistake of sending our children to English schools. They now it is very difficult to bring them back.
Impossible. They totally got westernized.
Yeah. I can't say so, but
No, I can't say so. I'm making a generic statement. But my own son, who's in US, he is totally different. He's guiding me also sometimes. Read this, read this. So US, the place especially says in Texas state, there are a lot of people who are into Sanskrit. Lots of them. Children. They're chanting Vedas, mantras and all. He himself is quite interested. He's, in fact, teaching in some manner after learning to the locals there. So things are spreading. I mean, we shouldn't lose heart. Things are spreading very like a wildfire in America.
Yes.
On our ancient culture.
Yes.
Thank you.
अस्तु समापयामः. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ.
राम राम भगिनी, धन्यवादः. नमस्ते.